justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! Justice!
Angela Mondal leading protests in Kolkata over the rape and murder of a junior doctor. She was just 19 when she was allegedly raped by Sudipto Chatterjee, a popular theatre actor, playwright and professor. She shared her experience through a post on Facebook, leading other women to come forward with their own stories of assault by Chatterjee. Despite the immense pressure, Angela filed an FIR 4 months after the incident, deeply traumatized. Following intense media coverage, Sudipto Chatterjee was arrested by Kolkata police.
I have been looking at it from only a positive lens, that whatever reason that suddenly this case really agitated everybody in my city and otherwise. That is very hopeful, very inspiring, very exciting that this is happening. I do also know that this might not last. I do understand, which is why protesting without a proper agenda is going to be very harmful. Because next time when this happens again and people are on the roads again or are willing to or are thinking of, they'll think the same thing. Oh, but we protested during that also. What happened? Rape is happening still. Because agendas are not clear. What are we demanding? What is that exact change that has to start right now? Because if that doesn't, you can scream your lungs out, nothing is going to happen. This was so brutal, something so horrible had to happen to her for them to get agitated, which makes sense. Logically, it makes sense. Somebody hits you once, you're not going to react as much as if they really break your bones. Of course, I totally get the logic of it. And also the fact that she really fit the image of a victim that they couldn't question as such. There were comments on my posts saying, "Do kauri ki actress hai, she wants fame, or this is what's gonna get her ahead in life, something. Or have you seen the kind of clothes she wears when she posts pictures on social media?" I mean, of course, this is supposed to happen to her. And like I said, that every time something horrible happens to a person and they go, if it's a baby, if it's an old woman, if it's somebody who was not wearing a revealing, attire, they will say things like, "But she wasn't even wearing that. But she was even a baby. She didn't even have the shapes to attract a male." What do you mean by that? So if somebody has the shape to attract a male, if somebody is wearing a dress that might be exciting for a man, he's allowed to rape? Or that is still normal, that is still, you can have the conversation like, I get it, maybe. That sounds like, because I have been asked that a lot of times. So this case and the rage, the beauty of it is the immediacy of it. That also, it was delayed. But the immediacy is because you got evidence, because that was a dead person, right? Had she been alive, don't you think she would have thought twice before complaining or doing something right away? Look at the state of it.
This was her in 2019 speaking at Barkha Dutt's We the Women, a community festival celebrating women and their achievements.
You were 19 when this happened. Where did you find the courage to come out and go public with it?
I took my time. I took 4-5 months. I didn't want to admit it because there's this idea of strong women that we have fixed in our heads that we can't be victims. We will speak for other people. We cannot be the weak ones.
Yeah.
Which is an ego. I am sorry, but men do not have a monopoly on ego. We have it too. And I couldn't come out with it.
Angela was hopeful as her case was being tried at a fast-track court introduced after the Nirbhaya case to expedite justice for victims of sexual assault. But over the past 5 years, her hope has faded as multiple hearings have been cancelled due to reasons provided by Chatterjee's counsel.
And I saw how hopeful I was because he was behind the bars somewhat. And it looked like everything was going to work in my favor and things were going in the direction that I would prefer it to go to. But that's not where it went, and everything went silent for 4.5 years. Just silent, as if it wasn't there. To a point where I wanted to forget that I'd ever lodged it. Because if it comes back, I'll have to go back to my 19-year-old self, right? But then it came back 5 years later. And I had 5 hearings where I appeared ready to speak. ready after having relived it 3 nights ahead. So I don't speak outside the track, don't say things that are not required. But I was denied the opportunity because I don't know if I should mention it, but things like, oh, the perpetrator is feeling a little sick today. He might not be able to create the right defense if I'm going against too much. Or the perpetrator's lawyers, his defense lawyers, one said his wife had a heart attack right, and as I was at the brink of getting up on the podium. So the hearing didn't happen. The hearing didn't take place.
Angela says that even her own lawyer, who doubles as a public prosecutor, stopped her testimony midway, claiming it was too detailed.
My own lawyer, which is not essentially my lawyer, it's a public prosecutor, that he is not ready. He is not comfortable. I was the one speaking. I was the one talking about it. And as I am describing explicitly, in detail, the things that have happened to me, he stops me midway going, oh my God, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared.
This is your lawyer.
I don't know what I should call him, but he's the one representing me. He's the one who's supposed to be on my side, the only one in that court. So he goes on to stop me like, I cannot, I'm not ready. 5 years, after 5 years, he is not ready.
A recent report by the National Crime Records Bureau paints a grim picture. In 2022, India recorded 4,45,256 cases of crimes against women, translating to 51 cases every hour. In 2020, this number was 42 cases every hour. Even more distressing is the statistic that a rape occurs every 16 minutes. While the conviction rate for gang rape or rape and murder is around 70%, it drops drastically to 27% for cases of rape. Despite the creation of fast-track courts, justice remains elusive for many.
When I was in We the Women in 2019, I was so pumped up with enthusiasm, and I was like pushing every girl, like, if it happens to you, just go, speak out, because the system or us, we are there. Times have changed. I will not push one more person to file a case anymore, because you go through a trauma once and then you go through it until the end of your times, because they are government employees doing their jobs and just running the clock, right? They're like, oh shit, lunchtime, I'm so sorry that you were talking about somebody groping you, but I have to eat my lunch.
5 years have passed since Angela Mondal first shared her harrowing experience. The accused was in custody and the case was placed in a fast-track court. Yet, justice still remains out of reach for Angela and countless others like her. With Shaunak in Kolkata, in Delhi, Zafar Iqbal for Mojo Story.